Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday. I'm Tripp Johnson, CEO of Greenhill. Today we're going to talk about vulnerability. So before joining the behavioral health field, I was an Army officer in the infantry, and the word vulnerability was never associated with anything positive. In fact, vulnerabilities were what we were trying to eliminate. We didn't want any chink in our armor. Unfortunately, when we're leading teams, this idea of not being vulnerable is incredibly unrealistic. And really, it's driven from this sense of our ego and a fear-based defensiveness. And as leaders, it's really important and it can be really useful to leverage vulnerability. It's not to be manipulative, but it is to build rapport. So I believe that, when you're vulnerable, you're showing true strength, because that means you've overcome some of the ego barriers that, frequently hold us back. Now, next week, we're going to talk about radical candor. And so this is kind of a setup for that discussion about how to have, radically candid conversations, ones where people know that we care personally and we can challenge them directly. But in order to challenge people directly and that they know you care personally, you have to build trust. And what I like to think of is trust is built through this cycle of sharing vulnerability and keeping it in confidence. So this is really how you build trust with any individual. You've got to be able to show your vulnerability, and then they can't burn you with it. We've all had someone share our secrets. We've all had someone, go behind our backs and say something to another party that we didn't expect, and that doesn't give us confidence. But when we can be vulnerable and we can be allowed to express our true feelings, our emotions, our fears, our anxieties, and that's held in confidence, that leads to trust. And when we're leading teams, it's incredibly important that we build trust. So if there's nothing else you take away from today, you just got to take away the fact that vulnerability is showing strength. This doesn't mean you're wearing all your emotions on your sleeves all the time, but it does mean that you can be real with people and you can tell them the concerns that you do have. So Brene Brown's done a lot of great work on this. I'd go check out some of her books. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.